So this is a really good stretch to start off with. This is really good for the quads and the hip flexors too. Okay. She's trying her best to match, but really Bella is the expert here. She does this very well. She has great mobility. See that big gap down here? She's got no gap. Good job, Bella. Welcome back, everyone. Today, my master's gonna pet me, and I'm gonna be happy, and then I'm gonna poop. Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are not in the weight room. We are doing something that is very important when it comes to building muscle and building a better you and being healthy and having a fit lifestyle. And that is why I have her here, because I'm not very good at it. It is stretching and mobility and all of that fun stuff that goes along with it. Flexibility. I'm not flexible. More so than most people, but not enough. That's why she's here. This is Sarah. So there's actually some really, really good benefits in stretching. I know a lot of big bodybuilders and professional, big people, they like to skip over the stretching, skip over yoga, skip over any sort of mobility stuff and just get big. But probably one of the best people that talked about this was Rich Piana when he talked about flexibility. And you have something underneath your skin that lays on top of your muscles called fascia tissue. And that tissue is mostly the thing that causes knots and pain. And also, if you don't stretch and it becomes tight around the muscles, that's also hindering your muscles from growing. So if you're trying to get some big arms or big legs, you need to stretch to be able to get that fascia nice and loose so those muscles can pop, they can grow, they can get more nutrients from the blood supply. There's so many benefits to this. Plus, it means you're mobile and you can scratch your back instead of being too big to scratch your back. That's not good. Or take your shirt off. So first off, we're gonna start from the neck. We're gonna go top to bottom.
So one really good movement you can do is simply just moving full range of motion left to right a couple times to warm up. Then you can also go side to side like this. And then you can also go front and back again. And when you do the front and back, you really want to curve your spine, like touching your chin to your chest, and feel that curvature of your spine. And backwards, same, the curvature of the spine the other way. I know a lot of people like to do head circles. However, if that doesn't feel comfortable, don't do them. They're not necessary. So our neck joint isn't a ball and socket joint. That would be like our shoulder joint that would go all the way around like that. Our neck isn't exactly designed to go all the way around like that. So half circles might be better for you. However, if you can do a full neck circle, then that's okay, that's good. But yeah, then going back to the side, you can reach your fingers, like if you're standing, you can try to reach them to the ground, put a little bit of pressure on your neck to get a deeper stretch. You can also tilt this forward and get the back a little bit more, tilting it forward or straight. That would be the side. The same thing, other side. You're actively pulling your shoulder down by pulling your fingertips to the ground and then putting just a tad bit of pressure. You're not cranking your neck, you're just putting a little bit more pressure to get a deeper stretch. Same thing, you can move that forward a little bit. You should feel the deeper stretch on the different side of your neck. So that would be your neck.
Is that good for your traps too, or just your neck?
Definitely, the forward, you can start getting into the traps back there. Good point.
Nice. Everyone wants big traps. Well, maybe not you, but guys do. All right, so moving on down, we're gonna go down to shoulders.
So of course, the basic shoulder rolls forwards and backwards. And then it's very good to, again, do the full range of motion. Your shoulder is a ball and socket joint. You should be able to move your arm all the way around. If you cannot, like if you notice that you try to put your arms up and you cannot do so, you cannot put your arms straight up without like curving your back to compensate, it shows that your shoulders are tight, probably from your thousands of reps of shoulder strengthening stuff. So loosen those shoulders, loosen them up. You should be able to lift your arms straight up with your bicep by your ear. without any sort of weird compensation. If you cannot do that, you need to work on shoulder mobility. One thing you can do to help is you can stand up and you can use a band to do, I've heard them called shoulder dislocates. I don't like calling them that because you should not be dislocating anything, but you're moving through the full range of motion with a stretchy band. Once you get more advanced, you can use something more solid like a towel that will give you less give and a deeper stretch. So you should be able to go forwards and backwards. One thing you can do is bend forward and let gravity help you out on this coming back. Most people can do this very easily backwards, but coming back forwards, you can use the help of gravity to bring you back forward.
So if we continue moving down the arm, we have biceps and triceps. So how are we stretching our biceps?
So biceps, really there's not too many ways to stretch the bicep. However, if you think about what the bicep does when it contracts, so your forearm does pronation, and supination. This supination, your bicep does engage and your bicep goes like this. So in order to stretch it, we want to do the opposite. We want to turn it away and turn our arm like this. So it's really helpful if you have a buddy, can I borrow your arm, to hold you while you do this. So whenever you're stretching any muscle group, you think about what its function is and then you do the opposite to stretch it.
And what about triceps?
So triceps, everyone knows this stretch to stretch your triceps. However, there's a couple of key points that you need to keep in mind to get the full stretch. Again, what does your tricep do? It does this. So you want to bring your arm forward and flex your elbow like this. However, you want to make sure you keep the full, like, if you've ever seen anyone, like at basketball practice or whatever, stretch their tricep like this, they're not doing very much. You've got to be fully up to extend all three heads here.
So last thing that we have is forearms on the arms.
All right, so this is very important. If you're lifting heavy and you're doing pull-ups or anything where you have to grab, your forearms are probably going to get sore. So you want to stretch those forearms. Very basic stretches. You can start with putting your hands straight down and leaning forward. And then you can turn them the other way and just kind of wiggle around and shift your weight.
Whew, that looks unnatural.
So if you have a buddy who is willing to use a little roller on your forearms, this can also be so nice / torturous depending on how sore you are. So if you have one of these things, very nice to just loosen that fascia and get some blood flow for those sore forearms. Not really a stretch, but very helpful.
So moving on down, the next thing it seems is our chest. So what do we do for our chest?
Well, two things. Well, it's really the same stretch. Again, your chest goes like this, so to stretch it, we want to do the opposite. You can do that with the help of the wall. You just put your arms straight out, making sure your shoulder's at a 90-degree angle, and you want to turn away from the wall as much as you can. I feel it in my collarbone area where the pec inserts there. You can also do this on the floor, but same concept.
What about upper back?
All right, so back is very, very important to stretch. Arguably the most important thing. Our spinal column is extremely important for all the rest of our body. Our nerves go through it. It's very important to keep loose and limber, keep your spine healthy. However, we also have muscles surrounding our back. So I guess we can divide it between like spinal mobility, and then you also have upper back muscle stretches and then lower back muscle stretches. So to start with the upper back, you're gonna get down on your hands and knees. So you're gonna thread one arm through, put your shoulder and your face to the ground, and then try to twist. You'll feel the twist in your upper back. It's a really, really good stretch for that upper back. Other side, thread one arm through.
Have a dog lick it. Oh my God.
The other upper back / lat stretch that is really, really good is I'm going to open this door, find a door frame, find something that you can kind of pull on. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one arm and just lean. Remember, what does your lat do? It contracts, it pulls like this, or I guess it pulls down like this. So just hanging is a good one to stretch your lat that way, but also to just stretch this way.
And that also depends on what angle you're at. So if you're up here grabbing, you'll get a different part of the lat compared to if you reach down really far, that's more of a hang if you don't have anything to hang on. So continuing on with the back, what about incorporating the lower back?
Okay, same thing. This stretch is a lot more common than our upper back stretch, but it's basically the same thing. It's a spinal twist. We did the upper spinal twist a minute ago. Now we're gonna do the lower spinal twist. Lay down, put one knee up, 90 degrees, turn it over, and then try to twist all the way so that your shoulder is on the ground. That is the goal. And then same thing other side. But this is targeting the lower back.
All right, one more for the whole back. What do we got?
You've got the muscles, we've done the upper back muscles, the lower back muscles, but what about the spine itself? The joints of your spine should be mobile, should be able to move. So, anyone into yoga has definitely heard of the cat-cow stretch. This is very good to just, and this is one you want to move through. Yes, you can hold it like this, you can hold it like this, but it's really about the mobility. So keeping it very nice and fluid is a good way to go for the mobility.
So moving on down, everyone always has a really, really sore core after they do abs. And how do we get our best stretch?
Yeah, all right, so a really good one would be the seal stretch, where it's just you press your hips to the ground and try to stretch back. Yeah, that would be your seal stretch. Good to hold. For our more advanced people who want to stretch their core and work on their shoulder mobility, you would do a back bridge.
I can't do that.
Well then, you would start and slowly progress to it. But this is a very good stretch to be able to do.
So that's all the upper body. Let's get down to lower body. Let's start with the legs. Actually, that is all of lower body. So how do we stretch our legs, our tree trunks?
Okay, our legs. So we have our quads, hamstrings, we have our glutes, and we have our hips, our hip flexors. Very important. Most of us spend the majority of our day sitting down, so it's very important for us to counter the negative effects of sitting by making sure we have some flexibility in the hips. So the stretches that incorporate pretty much all of this are the splits. So I highly recommend you slowly work up to the splits. If like wherever you are, that's okay, but slowly try to be progressing towards the splits. So let's start. Let's say if you have to start like this, this is a great stretch to open the front of the hips, the hip flexors. And then slowly what I'd like you to work on doing is begin to straighten the leg. Here, this is a stretch for the hamstrings, also the glutes a little bit, and then slowly, over time, work your way to being able to do the splits by doing this front hamstring stretch and this hip flexor stretch / quad stretch here. And slowly over time, you're gonna put those two together to be able to do the splits. The other important split is the middle split. Do not neglect this one. It's very important to open up the hips, the adductors in this way. So yeah, so let's say all you can do is open up to this way. Hey, that's okay. You're gonna slowly be working on opening. One way you can do that is to lean forward. You can deepen the stretch that way, but that's only if you're keeping your spine straight. If you're curving, then you're defeating the purpose. You wanna keep that spine straight and then lean forward. All right, in order to stretch the backside, your glutes, anything that stretches your hamstrings can also stretch your glutes. So this pike stretch is very good. This stretch is also going to help you work towards that split. So this is a good stretch for the glutes. Also the pigeon stretch, where you keep your leg at like a 90-degree angle and you try to really sit and stretch that side glute.
So Sarah did more advanced things because she is advanced. I'm not as flexible, so I'm going to do the easier version because your legs are very, very important to actually stretch. So we have the standing ones. Nothing super special about this. You've probably seen this 100 times, is you have your standing quad stretch. So you're not gonna be flared out to the side. If you're flared out to the side, you're not getting everything. So you wanna come straight back. If you need to start here, But as you become more advanced and stretch more, you're just gonna come further and further back. If you can go all the way back with your heel to your butt, then you can do what Sarah did as a more advanced technique. But if you're not even close to being there, about right here, I get a really, really good stretch right on the front of the leg. And then as we go to the back, we need to do something that everyone knows how to do, but not many people do properly. So everyone's like, okay, I need to do one of these. I'm stretching my legs. What's wrong here, Sarah?
You need a flat back.
Yeah, this is just me touching the ground because it's easier. That's not the actual stretch.
You get straight
Legs.
your legs.
Straight. You don't have to lock out your knees, but keep it straight, and then flat for your back. And then you're gonna, right here, this is gonna be your hinge. So you're gonna hinge down, and you're gonna feel it right from your knees all the way up. This is the best stretch that you can have, and you can hold on to stuff too if you're not very balanced. Last but not least, we have the calves. So how do we stretch the calves?
I think the best stretch for your calves and really the whole back of your legs is downward dog. So, but not many people know this, that downward dog is actually supposed to be your hands and feet in the same position as a plank position. Then you just put your heels down, your butt up, and try to push your armpits to the ground. But while you do this and you're fighting to keep your heels down, you're gonna feel it in your calves.
And if you feel like doing a standing stretch, which is a lot more common that you see people do, you're gonna put your foot up against the wall, again, maintaining that nice straight leg. And basically all you're gonna do with your butt is you're gonna lean forward. You're gonna keep the angle on your foot. You're not gonna change that. And you're gonna lean your body forward until you feel it in your calf. And you will. If you don't feel it in your calf, you need more of an incline. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was really a full body stretch from head to toe, every of the major muscle groups. There is, of course, other stretches for very specific muscle groups, but this is just a general overview, getting you stretched out, getting that body really more of a recovery and a preparation for your workouts, because stretching, like I said before, is vital. It's something that needs to be done, especially if you're just beginning, and also if you're a seasoned pro. It's incredibly important, not something you need to be skipping. So I will see you guys in the next video for workout related goodies.